In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I would take a brand new dental clinic or an existing clinic and get it to $100,000 per month as soon as possible. And before we get into it, just so you have a little bit of a background, because I normally don't like sharing numbers for various reasons, but for a video like this, I have to, okay? We've grown our clinic to around $450,000 per month, and not in just one good month kind of way, right? This is consistent, if not 450, even more. We've even surpassed $600,000 some months. And the reason that I'm making this video is because I would have found it so incredibly helpful if I had a video like this. A video that is going to go in so much depth, but is honestly so simple. The reality is a lot of dentists overcomplicate their offices. So what we're going to do and what we're going to cover today is this: why most clinics stay stuck at under $100,000 per month, what will actually get you to $100,000 per month beyond and consistently and quickly. It sounds big, but trust me, you're going to soon find out that it's not at all. And I'm going to give you the complete breakdown behind this. I'm also going to give you some real examples of clients so you know it's very possible and not a fairy tale. And I'm going to give you the exact 5-step system to get there as soon as possible. I'm literally going to give you the exact breakdown and steps on how to do it. And if you follow this, what I'm going to share with you in this video, and if you implement this consistently, you are easily going to get there. And by the way, why should you even want to get to $100,000 per month and beyond? Because you will not only transform your life, most importantly, you're going to transform your team members' lives and the community in the process. More money doesn't come from thin air, right? You are going to be creating more value, and you're going to be creating value by helping others doing something meaningful. You're not selling addictive products or crypto, so keep that in mind, okay? Don't let money scare you. In fact, you're doing yourself and your community a disservice by not making as much money as possible as you can. But with that said, let's get into it. So why do most clinics stay stuck at under $100,000 per month? For example, go on bizbuysell.com or any practice broker's website. You're going to notice the vast majority of dental clinics are under $100,000 per month in revenue collections. Why is that? I mean, a lot of dental offices are very busy, right? They're running a full schedule most days, constantly doing something. They're doing dentistry all day, right? But somehow the majority of dental clinics, 90% of them, struggle to get to at least $100,000 per month in collections. And it's not because 90% of dentists suck at dentistry. At least I hope that's not the case. It's because most clinics are winging it. They're trying 20 different things, hoping something sticks on the wall, right? Like new AI software, paying for SEO, new marketing ideas, staff changes, CE courses here and there. Basically, these are the people that are in like 3 different diet plans, 20 supplements, 2 fitness trackers. They're watching YouTube videos and workouts, and they're still not in shape. On top of that, the vast majority of dentists don't have a foundational vision for their practice. They lack a solid team and team training. They have poor systems, if they even have any systems. And they're clueless as to their new patient intake process. And they also have non-existent marketing. So today, I'm going to give you the formula. I'm going to tell you exactly what to build, how to do it, and how to easily get you to $100,000 per month in collections consistently. And it's actually quite simple, as I said in the beginning. Usually, the best and hardest things to do in life are simple, by the way. But before I get into the simplicity, if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button down below. I'm going to keep putting out more videos like this, and they take a lot of effort and time. But I'm just going to keep providing more real value every single week for you guys. So if you like it, please subscribe. Now, let's talk about what actually gets you to $100,000 per month in collections. $100,000 per month, by the way, isn't hard because it's a big number. It's actually not a big number at all, really. Like I said, we're doing $450,000 months, and I know, and we personally work with multiple dentists that are doing $200,000, $300,000, and a handful that we know that are doing over $700,000 per month consistently. So really, you can easily hit $100,000 if you follow everything that I go over in this video. But the reason dentists say it's hard is because most dentists build their clinic backwards. They build it how 90% of dentists do it. And they're surprised they get results like the 90% that they're following. Like focusing on many appointments, filling in the schedule, adding hours, adding dozens of insurances, and so on, instead of focusing on a few key things like systems, communication, increasing conversion, appointment value, and consistency. And that is it. Focus on those, play offense, and you're going to get to $100,000 per month easily. You could probably click off this video right now if you wanted to, if that all makes sense to you. But I'm going to go through the exact 5 steps you need to follow to do this and to get to $100,000 per month. But before I even show you the 5 steps, I want to calm your brain down for a little bit, for a second here. And let's talk about the math, right? Let's break it down. You're going to realize how doable it actually is. $100,000 per month can look like 10 patients at $10,000, 5 patients at $20,000, a couple of bigger cases plus some mid-tier dentistry, 1 aligner case a week and like 2 crowns a day and some hygiene. That is literally it. You do not need hundreds of new patients per month. You need to maximize your value for every new patient instead that you get. And how do you do that? You need bigger treatment plans. You need higher conversion of those bigger treatment plans. You need great follow-up and a great experience from the patient from beginning to the end. A lot of clinics are losing patients before they even come into the office. They're losing them on phone calls, and if not on phone calls, they're losing them in the office experience or in the follow-up. So before adding more patients, you need to fix the leaks first, right? In your internal systems. Basically, you shouldn't invite people into your home if your home isn't in order in the first place. It makes sense, right? That concept alone can take a clinic from like $50,000, maybe even $70,000 to $100,000 per month without adding any volume at all into your practice. And here's a real example of exactly that. Let me share with you the power of follow-ups when done correctly. Just one of those things. Around 3 months ago, one of our clients, they were struggling with closing new consults for All-on-X cases, right? He didn't have a consult problem, like getting consults into the office, but they just wouldn't move forward for whatever reason, right? There's so many excuses. So we simply said, start dialing for dollars on the leads that you've already paid for and that you've already put in the time and that you've seen and you've done an exam on. You don't have to waste time on new consults. That part's already done. Just follow up and get the closes. He clearly didn't have 100% case acceptance rate, so there was a lot of follow-up and potential that needed to be done. And what did his team do? They took that advice. They started reaching out to patients they already seen through multiple touch points. And guess what? Not only did they close $40,000 in All-on-X cases in that first week, but they've been much more intentional with their follow-ups ever since. And since they've been focusing on these follow-ups, their monthly collections have greatly increased since 3 months ago. Imagine how much follow-ups, when done well, consistently can add to your clinic monthly if you take that example to heart. Okay, so now let me walk you through the system. It's a 5-step system. This is the 5-step system that is going to get you to $100,000 and beyond per month. The exact order that I'm going to go through: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 1, vision and clinic identity. Step 2, team and intentional team training. Step 3, operations cadence, aka your systems. Step 4, selling and case acceptance. And step 5, organic growth or organic marketing. That is it. Follow these 5 steps, implement them how I'm going to show you, and you're going to get to $100,000 per month easily. Now let me break each of them down for you. This is where everything should start. Don't skip this, by the way, because this is the most important part dentists skip, where they don't put any value in. And like I said in the beginning, you don't want to be like most dentists. This also applies to existing practice owners, by the way. You need to start here. If you don't decide what kind of clinic that you're building towards, the randomness and like the chaos of life is going to design it for you. There's no other way about that, by the way. And when that happens, you usually end up with doing everything, staying busy, frustrated, and not doing what you think that you want to do and not making enough money. And by vision, I don't mean what dental procedures that you're going to be doing or dominating your practice. It's not about implants only or veneers only. You need a foundational vision that you're driving or you're cruising towards, right? Like a captain. Think of a captain of a ship or a plane. Imagine if they just took off with no plan whatsoever, no end destination. They're just randomly steering their ship until they hit land or they just get destroyed by some storm that they didn't prepare for. That's ridiculous, right? Well, quite honestly, that's the majority of dentists. They're steering the ship, constantly doing the upkeep, making sure it's still operating, but that's it. They don't have an end destination of where they're going, that overarching vision of where they want to take their ship. Nothing. And then they're surprised that it doesn't lead anywhere. Well, it does, but it leads to some empty land or frustration for dentists, right? So instead, I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? How do you want your team to operate? And how do you want them to function? What kind of patients do you want more of in your office? What kind of dentistry do you actually enjoy doing? Not what do you want more of? What experience will you give your patients from the beginning to the end? What will it look like in 5 years? Is it going to change or is it going to look the same? Really answer those questions and start to build a foundational vision for your practice. So that's step one that you're going to need to work on. In step two, let's talk about arguably the most important thing that's going to get you to $100,000 per month and beyond: a well-trained team. It's interesting to me because a lot of dentists either expect their team to just get it without any intentional training or intentional actions, or they passively let the team behave how they think they should behave, which is usually not a good outcome either. You know, in a circus show or live dance performance, right? If you've ever watched one of those, you're going to notice everyone is choreographed to a T. So much so that you notice any mistake or misstep in the dances, but those rarely happen. That is essentially the level that you have to reach with your team. Everyone has to be in sync. People take time out of their nights to watch these shows, right? They pay a lot of money, so obviously perfection is expected. But guess what? Do you expect patients to hand you thousands of dollars when your team isn't in sync or they're just constantly fumbling over each other? It doesn't make sense, right? Your team needs to be trained on patient intake, on phone calls, on communication, the in-office experience and the in-office flow, the new patient flow, consult flow, smooth handoffs, dollar presentations, sales, closing skills, and effective follow-ups. And you're the quarterback behind all of this. If the quarterback sucks or they're not trying, the game is going to suck. By the way, training isn't some software tutorials or some reading documents that you give them. You need to devise a purposeful plan for each role and each team member. Not every team member is trained similarly, okay? You need to set time aside for this. Your team is going to appreciate the structure. They're going to appreciate your leadership if you're going to be doing this. And before I move on, take a look at this quick story regarding a team member on one of our client calls earlier this week. I'm sure that you're going to relate.
I'll say the end and then I'll work toward it. They love him because he doesn't tell them what their problems are. So he's everybody's best friend and he's never actually getting them healthy. We had a hygienist, her name, she won hygienist of the year every year in our local newspaper for like 4 years. She had the smallest treatment plans coming out of her room and the least healthy patients. It was a bunch of old people that still have periodontal disease and crowns that are broken in half and teeth falling out of their head. But every time they're in, she talks to them about their vacations coming up and they get good reviews. So that's probably what's going on.
This, by the way, is the last thing that you want to continue to tolerate, right? I mean, you saw that. There's no ownership, no urgency, no confidence. Don't expect your hygienist or any team member for that matter to be natural salespeople. All of your team members need to be trained. Some may take longer than others, but if they're willing and they're open and they're willing to put in the work, that's what's going to move you past that $100,000 per month in collections and beyond that. Okay, so that was step two. Step three is your systems and daily operations. These need to be consistent and dialed in. Your clinic isn't going to reach $100,000 per month without daily consistent operations. What are some daily consistent operations that are a must that I would recommend? One is morning huddles. Two is the triangle of trust. And three, end of day huddles. For morning huddles, they need to be short, like 10 minutes maximum. They need to be consistent. Every team member needs to be prepared. And each team member needs to audit their own columns that they're working in. It's unbelievable how powerful morning huddles are and how much your team is going to enjoy them when they're done properly. And then next is the triangle of trust. This is a daily operation that's done with each patient. Whether it's a new patient or not, each team member communicates with each other, to each other, with the patient involved and with the patient in the middle. So the patient isn't left on an island, so to say. They're in the middle and they're always in the loop, either regarding information transfer or next steps or so on. And lastly, the end of the day huddles. Again, they need to be short, but even shorter now, right? The last thing your team wants to do is spend 10 minutes at the end of the day when their mind is already at home and when their body is tired and when they're home for the night. Okay, 5 minutes maximum for the end of the day huddle. what's closed for the day, meaning what treatment has been sold, what's still open, what hasn't been sold, and who needs follow-up. Each column, that is it. You can quickly go through that. Just make these three systems consistent, and they're going to make sure your clinic runs calmer, smoother, more predictable, and they're indirectly going to increase your collections. You're going to see. And now on to step 4. By following steps 1 to 3, your team is going to be 1, fully trained. They're going to be communicating regularly and frequently. And 3, they're going to be following your vision that you set out for your clinic. That's very important. That's the foundation. And step 4 is about selling and case acceptance. Like I said, you're going to have a constant flow of patients regularly coming into your chair. But if you can't build trust, and you can't build bigger treatment plans and close cases, then well, you're not going to get to $100,000 per month. Selling and case acceptance all comes down to building trust along the entire chain, from the first phone call to the moment they come into your office, to the moment that they sit in the chair, and to the point that your team presents the dollars. By the way, I've made several videos on this alone, and I'm going to summarize it here, but watch my full video on the DDF framework breakdown, and it's going to make a little bit more sense. But basically, you don't want to treat the relationship like a transaction. You give me money, I give you teeth. If you're doing that, you will get no money, and the patient is going to get their teeth somewhere else. In no business or industry can you ask someone to pay you multiple thousands of dollars without putting in any work selling themselves. Like, unless you're selling something that your life depends on it and you have literally no choice, okay, that's understandable, but in no other business can you do that. What you want to do is you want to find out what motivated them to call your office, what's bothering them, what are they not happy with as it relates to their oral health, and if they are ready to do something about it. The benefit of this is that it also doubles as a patient screening, right? Because the deeper you go, the less tire kickers you'll get, and you're going to build more trust the deeper that you go. 99% of dental offices don't even do this. They treat every phone call and conversation as a quick transaction. They just need to complete it, move on to the next task. By diving deep, you are really, really going to differentiate yourself. And then once they're in your chair, stick to what motivated them to come in. They don't care about your 5D implant placing AI powered robot. They want their problems addressed. They want to feel good and they want to be treated properly in your office. Okay? So step 5. That was step 4. You've got the foundational steps. You've got the team. You've got the vision. You've got the patients coming in and the selling skills. All you need to do now is sprinkle in some organic marketing. Notice I said organic, not paid marketing. Start by mastering the free channels before you run paid ads and spend multiple thousands of dollars. And if you haven't heard the term organic marketing before, by the way, it's not a safe pesticide, non-GMO way of running marketing. All jokes aside, it's marketing without spending dollars. Okay. This means filming testimonials, which also double as a selling tool. Watch my testimonial video after this, by the way, if you want to find out how I break it all down in that video, what to do, how to do it. But anyways, you want to make sure that you post regularly on social media, all of the channels, including updating your Google My Business from like the top down, consistently posting, asking for specific reviews from patients. That is going to feed the algorithm, SEO, whatever you want to call it. Just please do not pay someone thousands of dollars for SEO. Don't fall into that trap. The point is that you need to get more people in your community to see your face, okay? Your clinic and even your work. And even before you have work examples, they need to see you and your clinic and what makes you different. You don't need fancy paid marketing. That comes later, okay? Organic can get you there first, and you're still working on your systems and team at this point. The last thing you want to do is spend $5,000, $10,000 on marketing and your clinic isn't in order to maximize that spend. That is what the majority of dentists do. And to hammer in the point, please do not follow the majority of the dentists. I said this in the beginning. If you follow them, you're going to get the same results. All right. So there you have it. The 5 steps all laid out simply for you to implement. That is going to get you to $100,000 per month as soon as possible. Before I leave you, I want to zoom out for a second. Okay. $100,000 per month isn't really about the number if you've watched this far. It's about what you need to do to get there and how your life, clinic, and team changes. Your team gets better. Your culture improves in your office. Patients feel like they're in some kind of magical dental practice and you're making more money for everyone. yourself and your team, and you're helping more patients. And you start building a clinic that you're proud of at the end of the day. So start the 5 steps that I laid out for you. You don't have to do it all in 1 week or in 1 month. The most important part is that you get started and you stick with it, and that you're consistent, and that you implement it. In the next 30 days, what I want you to do is I want you to define your clinic identity, and your vision, write it all down. And then start your daily huddles. And then in the next 2 months, 60 days, you need to train your team, improve your communication from the front to the back, collect testimonials, systematize your reviews from patients. In the next 90 days, follow up, make that consistent, make that a routine, and then refine your organic marketing. By the way, this isn't a 90-day process, and then you're just magically done. It's a continuous process, year after year after year. All good things in life require maintenance, okay? But if you do this consistently, $100,000 months and more are going to become inevitable. They're going to become easy. And then you're going to wonder, why did I think that $100,000 months were this like pinnacle? And you're going to reach for more, okay? Most dentists don't struggle to reach high numbers because they're bad dentists. They don't reach those numbers because most of the time they're just doing too much. Like I said, they're too busy. They don't have a solid plan to get to where they want to go. Remember that, okay? And if you're with me to the end of this video, it's really simple, man. Just make it simple. Break it down, follow the 5 steps, get your vision down, get your team in order, your communication, your sales, and organic marketing. That is it. The steps are simple, but they require consistency. If you follow what I laid out in this video, actually implement it, and stop winging it, you are going to get there and beyond. And I hope you get there. But if you want some help and you want some guidance, you want help doing it, and you don't want to just tackle it alone, just click the link in the description below this video, and I'll see if I can help you out. I want you to change your income. I want you to change your lifestyle. I want you to change your team's lifestyle, and I want you to do the dentistry that you love. Okay? Until then, see you in the next one.